Hi, my Facebook family. This is Nisi, also known as Tanique. I am back again for another video to continue down the journey of, or to continue with my story about my infertility journey over 40. I've posted two videos. This is my third one, and again, I'm just sharing my journey in the hopes of being able to share my information or provide the options that I took into consideration and the options I've tried as I've again been going through this journey for I'm 44 and I started at about 39, so about 5 years I've been in my journey. Um, I'm a single black woman, and unfortunately, as I've stated in my first video, it seems to be becoming more common that a lot of us who wanted to have kids and just the situations to be married and have kids never presented themselves. And once again, as I've stated, I always thought I would, have the white picket fence, the husband, the 2.5 kids. I went to school. I got my undergraduate degree. I got my master's. I have certifications. I work in corporate America. I've dated over the years, but just never anyone that, that I was, fortunate enough to have that connection with and, wanted to be married to. Again, I was in a relationship, as I stated, and went through that story in the second video. I thought that was going to be the man that I was going to marry. Unfortunately, he could not handle the IVF journey, and I know I wanted to be a mom, and I didn't think it was right for me to have to make a decision about being in a relationship or being a mom. So I ended that relationship. I left off last time talking about embryo donation. Due to I had went through 2 rounds of failed IVFs, 4 IUIs, and I just learned about the embryo adoption because I facilitate a support group called Resolve. And again, just a little bit about Resolve. If there's any women who are going through infertility, I would look them up. If you just need someone or need individuals to talk to, it's a peer group. Like again, I'm just a peer. I'm not a doctor, psychiatrist, therapist, or anything. It's a group that we meet once a month, and it's the first Mondays of the month in our area, and we just talk and we go around the room. Everyone share their stories, where they are, what they've gone through, and we're just there to support each other, because if you're someone going through this, sometimes you feel alone. And when I started, I didn't know anybody. That I knew about IVF, but I didn't know anybody going through it at that time. And it's amazing, as I started going through it, I would bring it up because I've never been shy about it. I played tennis again. I happened to be playing with someone as a partner on my team, and I started talking about it. She was like, "Oh, my twins were IVF babies." I've met so many people that have gone through the process that I never knew. So I think sometimes we just don't talk about it. So again, I'm very vocal about what I've gone through, um, and what I continue to go through. So where again, I talked about embryo donation as an option because at my age and the fact that I'm not in a relationship, it's not like I'm having sex or was having sex on a regular basis. So it wasn't that option of, well, I could get pregnant, and my doctors never told me that I couldn't get pregnant. My uterus was fine. I do have, like I said, level 4 endometriosis and that's out of 5 levels, so it is pretty severe. And what my endocrinologist was thinking is that the sperm when I was with my ex, the sperm was having a hard time traveling, you know, through the canal. That's my way. That's my swimmers, as you can see, going through the canal and getting to reaching my egg and implanting because of the endometriosis and all the scar tissue. So she was thinking that's probably what the issue was and why I was having miscarriages. So IVF was an option because it allowed me to put the embryo or get an embryo or the frozen egg and sperm where it needed to be. And of course, at my age of 44, dealing with egg quality. So being that I wasn't having regular sex and just, hoping that it would happen, and unfortunately, in the situation where it happens to a lot of women, your finances run out before your desire to want to continue trying. And again, like I said, I probably spent over 50 something grand, and as we know, a lot of that not covered by insurance, just going through these processes. So I had to start thinking about what makes more sense to continue, um, as I would say, going in the bathroom and pouring money down the drain because my body wasn't reacting to the drugs like they used to. And not that they couldn't or wouldn't start back, but how many gyno elves do I want to take at $1,100 a ball or a pen? And we know I can only use that pen twice. So I looked into embryo donation. Again, my fertility clinic had just started the process. I think I had told you last video they had one couple that was African American. It really didn't matter to me. Of course, I asked for African American first, but at this point, I would have had Caucasian baby, Asian baby, Hispanic baby. You know, I just wanted to be a mom. So, like I said, I chose my embryos. I think I mentioned last time at my clinic, the price for the to hold the eggs is again $7,000, and you only get two embryos. I don't care if that couple had 10, 20, you only get two of them. So if those two don't work, then you have to pay another $7,000 for another two from that couple or somewhere else. So I chose those, you know, and then I began to prep my body for embryo transfer. That started around August. I started doing, I forgot what I did. Oh gosh, I've taken so much medicine over these years. I had stopped my birth control, and again, I was on birth control to keep my endometriosis or suppress my endometriosis. So I got off the birth control, and I had to let myself have a cycle. And with my severe endometriosis, having a cycle is absolutely horrendous. I've had to call my doctor like, this ibuprofen 800 or like Tic Tacs. I need some narcotics. And my doctor, I love her to death. She knows I really have a tolerance for pain. So she knows if I call in saying I need drugs, I need drugs. So that's how severe my cramps was, where I had to take hydrocodone just to, you know, and that didn't take it all away. That's just made it bearable. So, you know, I had got to the point where I was like, I was about this close to saying just take it all out, because it's just inhumane treatment for me to have to go through this each cycle. So I prepped my body. I did some injection. I think I had started on progesterone, and then I did the estradiol, the patches. For anybody who's going through the process, you know, you start the patches, you start your progesterone. So I had to prep my body for that. And then I had my transfer scheduled for September 18th, and I was only going to do one embryo at a time. Just, of course, I wanted to give myself 2 shots. And I went in on September 18th. I think I even drove myself. Yep, I didn't really tell a lot of people, because, you know, if you go through this, you hate telling people, and then they ask you, and then if if it fails, you have to tell everybody, no, it didn't work. So I didn't tell anyone. Some of my girlfriends knew I was, you know, going to try again, and I was going to do the embryo donation, but I never gave anybody a date. So yes, I went in on my own, because the only drug that I could have taken was Percocet. No, not Percocet. Diazem, Diaezem, something like that. But that was something just to ease your nerves, or, you know, just make you a little bit more comfortable. But if I would have took that, then I would have had to have someone drive me home. But again, I have a little bit of a tolerance for pain, so I didn't take anything. And the only thing uncomfortable about the transfer is you have to do it on a full bladder. So it's you're up on this table in stirrups, and you're feeling like you just want to pee, and they're like, you gotta hold it, you gotta hold it. So just imagine somebody poking and prodding in you when your bladder is full, and they're telling you to hold it. So that was it wasn't painful, just very uncomfortable. So we got through it, and then come the waiting period. As I was going through this, I had again started going through the foster to the adoption process. And I had started back in September, I started my MAPS classes, which is a 5-week, every Saturday class that you have to go through to go as you're going through the foster to the adopt process. And as I had stated, I would have made peace with, you know, if this is the way I need to become a mom, then that's what I was going to do. So I was going to my class. I did my transfer on a Wednesday, and I was going to my classes, you know, still, because I've never been one that felt like or said I had a calling for this or I had a calling for that. I hear that a lot from people, and never I was like, oh, I was just impressed when people said that. And when I started going through the process of adoption, I knew that was my calling. I knew that whether I got pregnant or not, I wanted to adopt an older child. So going through those classes Great process, teacher, awesome. Kind of took the edge off of me, my transfer, and I was in my class. It was roughly right around the 1st of October, and one of my girlfriends from my support group had texted me saying, "Hey, Nisi, when are you supposed to go back to get your results or do your beta when you go in and do your blood test?" And I was like, "I know it's coming up." I'm not one of those people because I really didn't want to do a blood test, but my doctor was like, "Tanika, you gotta have to come in here and do it." So I had banned pregnancy tests. I was like, I just want to be on a tennis court and I just go into labor. But of course, I couldn't do that. So I actually had to go in and look to see when I had to go to my doctor's. And this was actually she texted me on Saturday. I was in class and I was like, oh, shoot, I have an appointment on Monday for my first beta. I did something that I usually never, I said I would not do. But I was out at lunch during the foster to adopt classes. I was at the dollar store. So I was like, let me just get 2 of these cheap pregnancy tests. First of all, I got the test, buy the test. A man in front of me walks off with my bag, not realizing. So we're looking for the bag. I had to go running out the store. And he was walking back in. First of all, he was like 75. He was like, I have no use for these, or my wife. And so we laughed, and he was like, I hope, if these are for you, that you get the results that you want. So I went back to class, went home. I was like, let me just for a joke, I'm just going to take this pregnancy test. I'm like, whatever. I was just, and then I was like, let me do it in preparation for the bad news that's going to come on, on Monday when I go in. So that's kind of the excuse I use. So I peed on the stick. Something I have rarely done in this over these years. I probably peed on 2, and then I was like, I'm never doing it. Peed on the stick. Walked out, did whatever I was doing. Went in, looked, picked up the phone, called one of my girlfriends from my support group, sent her a picture, and I said, what are you seeing? She was like, she used the B word. I love her to death. That's 2 lines. I was like, are you serious? She was like, yes, that's 2 lines. I'm like, and what does 2 lines mean? She was like, that you're pregnant. I was like, nah. So, you pee on the other one. And of course, I did the next best thing. I went to Walmart and got like 5 other ones because I got the one with the first response because I'm like, this is the cheap one. So I had to go spend all this money on pregnancy tests. Peed on about 4, 6, and they all popped up pregnant. I freaked out. I did not when I tell you, I did not expect it. I just knew it is what it is. It's not going to happen. I'm going to be adopting a child. So, of course, now I'm like, oh my gosh. We're talking all weekend. Now it's Saturday. So now I got to wait till Monday. So now my nerves are bad. So then you start replaying, going through the miscarriage. So I go in on Monday, do the blood test. I love my clinic and my doctor. She called me back like it was about 9:45 a.m. Of course, I'm on a call for work and I'm seeing the clinic call with my results. I couldn't pick up the phone because I'm facilitating a meeting. So by the time I hang up, I listen to my message, and it is my doctor saying, Tanae, and again, that's my real name, you are pregnant. And she was like, I can hear her. So now I'm calling her back and I'm like, please, Dr. Johnson, please call me back. I went through the portal that we have. She called me back like 15 minutes later. By now I'm crying and she's crying, and she was like, congratulations. I am like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. And more to come. I think again that I only get 15 minutes because I am I have another YouTube channel, but because this is a new one, I think they monitor or not monitor, only give you a certain amount of time until you build people viewership or however it works. So I will pick back up again. I won't make it be too long to continue my story of what happened, what has happened since I found out that I am pregnant at 44. Who knew? All right, everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. It is almost 9 o'clock here in, again, Charlotte, North Carolina. If you like this video, please, if you like it, I guess as everybody would say, click on it. If you have any questions, please leave them and I will respond to them. And I welcome you back to continue down this journey with me. Have a great evening.